Hey guys, I'm Chad Hoover, and this week I'm excited to be back at Bienville Plantation for the first ever KBF DZ Tenvitational. Let's go, baby!
Get up and put on the coffee. You know the sunlight won't last. Making my way to the country. I'm gonna catch a big old bass.
That is a spud. Yeah! Oh my God! Booyah! Hey guys, Chad Hoover, Kayak Bass Fishing, and today we are at beautiful Bienville Plantation, White Springs, Florida, for our annual KBF The 10. Now this year we're welcoming DZ as title sponsor of the event, so it's the KBF DZ The 10. But we've switched things up and we've added a new event this year. The 10 is the top 10 anglers across the country that come down here and duke it out for a guaranteed first place $10,000 payout. This year we've added payouts down to 5th place, but we've also added another twist. We've invited the top anglers from across the country, past champions, guys that have fished in the top 10% of major events, for what we're calling the KBF DZ The Tenvitational. So you only can come to this event if you get the invite by being in that top 10%, so that's why we call it the Tenvitational. Now, we've got a guaranteed payout for the Tenvitational, but what these guys are really fishing for is a wild card slot to win their way in to the 10. It's gonna be interesting to see how it all plays out. We had a cold snap last night. The low was 29 degrees, but coming off of past weeks of highs in the 60s and even mid 70s, these bass have already moved up. I got here yesterday and drove around, and I can already see the bucks doing their work. So the pre-spawn pattern is gonna be in full swing. Gene Jensen and Scott Butcher are joining me for this episode because they're gonna get out there and pre-scout while I set up for the event and see if they can't find some hungry bass.
That's what I love about beautiful grass and hills. I love to fish Florida in January and February of every year. That's one of those things, it's like my birthday. I always look forward to it.
Hey Scott, grab my 9s.
Make sure you check
If
those
they're
out.
spawning, I'm gonna need them.
There
So
you go.
thanks, man.
Those 9s are where it's at.
Much better. The reason is because in Florida, they start to spawn in December, January, February. So you have a lot of pre-spawners. The females are really big. The rest of the country is freezing cold. So we're able to come down here, a little bit warmer weather, and catch fish that are just massive and lots of them, and they pull up to the bank and just makes it really easy and a lot of fun. Trying to figure out what kind of a mood they're in if they're sitting in this spot. I'm trying different retrieves and different speeds, and once I figure that out, I pretty much can use that knowledge to use other lures to catch them. So on this next retrieve, the last retrieve is kind of a bounce off the bottom and see what happened. And then this one's literally, I'm gonna crawl it is what I call it, just so I barely feel the vibration of the blade. And mood is everything a lot of times.
So that's something's caught up there. That's not turning how I wanted to turn. I keep a chatterbait tied on all the time, everywhere that I go. In particular, the Z-Man, I carry a box of the jackhammers. I call them the Thunder Chickens. But so what I'm gonna do is, this water's super clear. We're down here all the time. I knew that coming into it. I already had this tied on, so I was being lazy because I'm a fisherman and that's what I do. And I knew that white wasn't gonna work, so I'm actually going the complete opposite side and gonna pull up the same bait, just a different color, and see if we can put a couple in the hook there. So there's definitely some activity in the water. It's not as cold as we anticipated. So I'm really hoping that once we nail down this pattern and we find the right lure color, that maybe we can go smash some.
Oh, I think I have something. Hold on a second. All right, man, this is a good one. What I did is I pulled up into a protected pocket, and the water temperature just came up 2 degrees, or 2/10 of a degree. And literally, I'm not even in the pocket yet, and I got bit. I changed to what's called a Tokyo rig with a little worm on it. And this one's about 4.5, maybe 5 pounds. It's a big one. It is a really nice one. Come here. Whoa!
That sure sounds good.
Man, look at that fish.
Looks like you got one. Let's go see how he did it.
Look at the, I mean, you talking about a perfectly shaped fish? Man, this is a beautiful fish. About a 5-pounder, 5.5 pounder. Pre-spawn female, big and fat. Look, she's got eggs right here getting ready to spawn here in the next couple of days. Man, what I did is I just pitched into the grass and I came to the outside edge of the grass, which is only about 2.5 feet deep, and just shook it once. And it was, the Tokyo rig's a new rig. I made a video not too long ago about it, but it's basically a short little drop shot, but instead of a drop line, it has a piece of metal, a metal wire that comes down, and it just allows your bait to sit up above the bottom a little bit, makes it an easier bite. And she definitely bit it. Oh, it's gonna be an awesome tournament if they continue to bite like this.
Nice, good catch, good catch.
There she goes. Oh, there you go.
Did you get any stills?
No, but I'll catch another one. There you go, there's that confidence I like.
This episode of Kayak Bassin is brought to you by Bonafide Kayaks. Stability, agility, ultimate fishability. Fish USA, America's tackle shop. DZ, the quality truck accessory people.
Move it along, move it along.
Nope, he dropped it. Little one. Definitely was not a big fish.
Let's go down. All right, there we go. Boom. Almost like a glove. Powerful back up.
Got it. Get up in here. And that would be a male. Only time of the year you can tell the difference.
And my first bite and miss of the day.
All right, so what happened is I really think this male is making a bed right over there. I cast it in, I got bit, he swam off with it and then dropped it. And I'm like, So I cast it back in there again, and as soon as he bit, I hammered him and got him. And I bet you money there's a bed sitting right over there. Go make babies. Cut to the sexy music. Wow, chicky, wow, wow.
All right, ladies, listen here. All you big girls, the first one of you that comes see me, I'm gonna kiss you right on the mouth, all right?
All right, so right now I'm gonna cut this off. You know, you're limited with a number of rods you can put on a kayak, and I usually fish with 5 rods. And this is the only one that's ideal for what the next technique I want to try, which is a lighter weight worm. I'm gonna use the same type of worm. I'm gonna put a hook and just a light sinker in front of it so I can fish actually on top of the grass. I found out by making this, casting this a few times, the grass out here is about 2.5 feet deep from the top to the bottom. And when this thing falls down into that grass, the bass aren't down there, they're up on top. So I'm gonna just change to something I can glide and drag across the top of the grass. So just gonna lighten things up a bit. Fish. Ah, come on, he's a little one. I was actually swimming this worm.
Come on, give me what we want. I may have to go just a straight Cinco here in a minute so we can at least get a fish on the board.
Yep. I didn't even feel that bite. Cause it's a little one. Look at that little guy. Look at that little guy. I was just dragging the same worm. This is a real shallow area, but it's a long point that goes way out and then just drops off into about 15, 20 feet of water. And so this is those spots just on the mouth of a spawning cove that bass are gonna pull up and they're gonna stage. We'll go ahead and let that little guy go.
You know what? I want a worm actually, don't you think? We're gonna go with a big old black and blue. See if we can get one of these girls to eat it. How the hell did that just happen? If we're not catching a fish, at least maybe we can tell them a story. Right? Tell you what, let's see if anything hits this underspin before we go change the plastic. Just see if we get a bite, because there are fish right across through here, so. I can't tell if that's grass. That's gotta be grass, yep. That's not what we want. I may have to come off of this underspin, even though I thought it was gonna work. Worst kayak angler in the world right here, guys. My name's Sky Butcher, and I officially suck at kayak fishing.
All right, guys, so these guys spent most of the morning. All right, we got a front moving in. They got to jump off the water. It is about, the bottom is about to fall out.
Okay,
so before y'all left, you said chatterbait. You said you're going to do the chatterbait. Did you catch them on a chatterbait?
No.
No fish on a chatterbait?
No fish on a chatterbait.
Okay, so did you catch them?
Yes.
Okay, did you catch them?
Did not.
Did not. Okay.
I know what not to do.
All right, well then, I don't need you for this segment. So anyway, so Gene, what did you catch the fish on? What did you catch them on?
Actually, the big fish was about a 5.5 pounder.
Oh, okay, cool.
Came off a hard edge, and I was throwing a Tokyo rig with a paddle tail worm. And the reason I did that is, one, it was tied on. Two, it's a great bait to get on those hard edges where you have a drop off on the grass and it's hard bottom, and just sit there and shake it. And so I shook it.
So not fishing a Tokyo rig as a punching bait, fishing it as a
bottom bait.
Yeah, as a bottom bait.
Yep.
So look at that. But anyway, you guys stay tuned. We're gonna get back out there and see if we can't find some fish. This is the KBF DZ, the Tenvitational, here from beautiful Bienville Plantation in White Springs, Florida. This episode of Kayak Bassin is brought to you by Yak Attack, Nines, Power Pole, Bending Branches, Lowrance,
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, and y'all have fun.
It's a race. The first competition of the day is who can get to the water. Look at them go.
So I forgot my paddle on the truck. That's thicker than I thought I was gonna be.
All right, so we're about 15, 20 minutes into the tournament, and we found Jay Wallen, a past Angler of the Year. And he told me he made one mistake this morning. I was like, what? He's like, caught a fish on the first cast. So it's one of the things, the superstitions that we have as anglers is if you catch a fish on the first cast, you probably will not catch another fish the rest of the day. So we'll see if that holds true. Oh, got one.
Day one at the Tenvitational out here, and it's cold. You know, it's like 30 degrees. A little bit of wind, which is actually perfect. And I got a 19-incher like on my third cast, and I've caught a few small ones after that. So this will be my fourth fish. So I'm one fish away from a limit. Not big. It's only 14 inches, but when it's 30 degrees out, I imagine the guys are hopefully they're struggling more than I am today. So.
Well, I haven't caught anything yet, but I'm trying all my different lures out, different techniques. And you know what? It's half the fun of fishing.
I haven't really seen many other people, so I don't know how anybody's doing except for apparently Jeff's crushing them, which is awesome.
Good one. Might be an upgrade. Might be. We will see here in a second. Put it on the hog trough. Let's see where we're at.
So cold. I can't feel my fingers. I've taken my gloves off and put them back on, and nothing's helped. 16, good call.
This is going to be an upgrade. I've got 17 3/4. I have a 17 on the board as my smallest. So I've just upgraded 3/4 of an inch.
So we got Eric Siddiqui behind us, and he's fishing so slow. I mean, he's throwing his Carolina rig out and letting the wind drift him through the spot. It's so, I'd rather slam my hand in a car door than to fish like he's fishing right now. But if it's catching fish, I guess he's gonna do it.
Hey Gene, I just got another one. Slow and steady, man.
I'll tell you, it's been a dream to come down to Florida for me. I live up in Michigan. Since I was a kid, I wanted to get down here and fish for some monster Florida stream bass, and here I am. And what better place than Beanville? Come on, baby. There's so much going on in these lakes, so many little cuts and coves. This used to be a mining area, so very rich in minerals, very good food sources to get these bass nice and fat, and all kinds of little coves. That one was another one. He was running with it.
Came out and slammed my personal best first fish of the day. Is a 22-inch, 7.2-pound pig. Since then, it's been a steady grind.
Nice. All right, get another one, brother.
So I'm here watching Eric, and he catches one on a Carolina rig, and as he's bringing it to the boat, he's seeing a second fish following it. He puts the fish he just caught down in the boat, throws out another rig, catches that fish.
I cast out there and hooked into one and saw a bunch more followed up, and cast right back out there and caught another one.
Then Cody comes along, throws out an Alabama rig, and catches 3 more.
So actually, I marked like 7 fish that streaked on my right side, and I flipped back behind me, and the rod just loaded up. And I thought I had 2, then made one more cast, and I got 3. Been here about 5 minutes. I was like hitting all the lakes just to, try to get a feel for where the 10's gonna be. So they're pretty good ones. I mean, that one's probably 17, 15. The Hog Farmer's Harvester rig right here.
This episode of Kayak Bassin is brought to you by Yak Attack, Nines, Power Pole, DZ, Lowrance,
So I pulled up the board here, and it looks like we got another lead change. They're catching them today. This is awesome. Yeah, I am now in second, but again, I have a 19.5 to put on. I think it's gonna give me about a 2-inch upgrade, which is gonna put me back in first again, man. It's been, I think, maybe 4 or 5, maybe half dozen lead changes just in the last few hours. So everyone else is finding them today. This is pretty exciting.
Little fish.
Big fish. Feeling pretty good. I'm feeling like I'll take 4 more of these.
So Cody and Eric are no strangers to ending up in the same place at the same time and sharing waters. One thing about kayak anglers is they have a great understanding of etiquette. So these guys are not stepping on each other. They're not really helping each other, but they're working to share the spot.
Hey Cody, if you catch a 22 1/4, I'm punching you in the face.
Definitely trying to get 5, running out of time, just over 2 hours left. Need 2 good bites.
They're definitely keying in on the hydrilla, and I'm getting a lot of bites there, but man, I've probably lost 8 fish in the last couple hours.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been one of those days for sure. A little shaky, a little shaky. Gosh. I think Eric might be punching me in the face. It's a little over 22 1/4. It's a Bienville giant right there, 22 1/2. Man, it's fat. She's ready too, isn't she?
I'm primarily a river fisherman for smallmouth, and down here at Bienville for the first time, these guys are showing me a little bit of the ropes. And he got another one.
That's a grown fish. That really probably is. Feels like unless I got him inside or something.
Let's go, baby!
That should give me second. That fish has grown. So I've been fishing on this big school of shad, and I've thrown a few different baits. If the wind was blowing, I was throwing something moving, a rig or a spinnerbait, and if the wind quit, then I started throwing slower stuff, drop shot, Carolina rig, stuff dragging on the bottom. Just figured them out.
That one's bigger. Everything just went in my favor this week. Nope, not as big as I thought. Good decisions, real good luck out in the water, performances. It all has to come together. There's so many things that have to come together to make it right. And I think I have it in the bag. I think I have this this tournament.
So, in first place, taking home $5,000 and moving on, more importantly, to fish in the 10, all the way from Michigan, Mr. Jeff Fader. All right, guys, so that's gonna do it for the KBF DZ Tenvitational, but the event is not over. The whole purpose for this guy coming down here is he wanted to qualify to fish in one of the most prestigious events in kayak fishing. That's the Kayak Bass Fishing, the 10. Okay, it is the top 10 anglers in the country, plus the past champion, which makes 11 this year. And then we did the wild card, and Jeff came down here and laid the smack down. So one last thing to give him that we don't do at the ceremony is, Jeff, there is your trophy, right? That is your trophy that you made it into the 10. Now the big trophy, the 10 champion trophy, is still waiting on you. So, well, Jeff, congrats on your win, and good luck in the 10.
Thank you, thank you.
All right, man.